Thank you, Marion. This is the place where my mind is saying, why me? Because someone said yes. Oh, well, welcome. It's great to be together. I've just been noticing how getting settled, how active my mind has been, and it's brought to mind this old teaching story that I'm going to demonstrate. So the student comes in to talk to the teacher, and this student happens to be experienced, and the teacher says, "Would you like to have some tea?" And so they're sitting together, they're talking a while, and then the teacher, offers the student some tea, and then the tea flows over because the student didn't empty their cup. So part of my talk today is on beginner's mind or don't know mind. So emptying our cup. Often that's is a phrase I use for myself. When my mind is full, there's not any emptiness inside of this vessel for anything to come in. If I think I know, I've heard this before, usually I don't. And how I met the koan, when John first presented it, the seamless monument was like a monolith. It felt like a monolith like this in front of me. And it's a bit like the emperor when the teacher said, "Do you understand?" And the emperor said, "I don't." And that's what that does for me. And it's a great thing because it stops my mind. And then what happens after that is generally for me, as John mentioned, this koan is full of imagery. And generally an image comes to fetch me. Sometimes it's a word, but usually it's an image. And then I let that image come into my body. I can generally visualize it and feel it in my body. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about the drop-down menu of how to meditate. And I think I'll start with John's book on the Buddha, the story of the Buddha, where he says, "You will discover how to meditate with the koans just by valuing the time you spend with them. Meditation teaches meditation. Don't try to use it to achieve anything. Just hold the story in mind or any part of the story and stay with it day and night. It's not so hard." It's easy for him to say. So here's how I've been working with this koan and some ideas about my ideas through my practice about how I work with a koan. So I let the koan come in and I follow the image. And sometimes the image fills me, sometimes it takes me, sometimes it's just like this emerald palace. That was one of the images from the koan last night. Sometimes it's a sound. Like often when either Michael or Jordan are playing, there's some sound or tone that will take me, fill my body. We're working, the other image that came to mind from the koan was, I think it's a single hand, doesn't reach out in vain, sound to one hand. And that sound, I notice for myself that the sound fills me. And I don't do anything to make that happen. It just happens. And I spent many sessions going in to see John where he would say, don't push, don't try to make it happen. Take it easy. Just see what happens. And my natural way was to push and to try to make something happen and to have an idea about the destination that I was, some idea about enlightenment or awakened mind that I was searching for. And when I stopped doing that, when I stopped thinking that I knew the way to do that and just let the koan come to me and work on me, that became my practice. So I also found that it's very good to work with a teacher. In the other groups that I sat with before coming to Pacific Zen about 20 years ago, I came here. I got very, very little time with the teacher. And I think that the offering that Pacific Zen has for us as students is unique and unusual and varied. And so I've found by working with a variety of teachers has been very useful for me in my practice. And sometimes I work with just one teacher, but I often seek the guidance of many of our teachers. Also found that I love meditating in community. When I look at all of you on screen, I see that seamless body. I love taking my koan for a walk. Often when my seated meditation gets kind of dry, my teacher will tell me to go take it for a walk, take it for a hike. And for many years, I worked with the original face koan, and I had to take a lot of walks and a lot of hikes with that koan. That one was a doozy. It was about 3.5 years before I passed that koan. And I would be looking for it everywhere out here instead of here. You can see the koan appear in your dreams. That's why in the evening during Sesshin, we recommend you take the koan to bed with you and see what you dream, if you dream, and what comes forward for you. I think I want to talk mostly about the hand, the single hand. And I'm going to use an experience that I have a Saturday sitting group. And we've been meeting for quite a while now, since COVID. And so there was something that I won't use any names, something that happened a couple weeks ago, and we'd been talking about, like a lot of groups, be brief, don't talk bullshit, speak from your own experience, and try to keep it in 3 to 5 minutes. And so we'd been, struggling with that a bit. And so the head of practice for the week, because it rotates, it gets to ring the bell or do something that signals to the person that it's their time's up. So the head of practice did this. And out of 10 of us, all of us had a different reaction to that. And I found that fascinating. That this, that's completely empty, can mean so many different things to every person in the group. Somebody took offense to it. Somebody just took it as stop, time's up. Somebody didn't even see it. Somebody had a discourse on this. It was so fascinating that I get to make up whatever that is for me. And I realized that I was every single one of those people. Because at any moment or time, that I could have taken offense to. Or that I could just see as, oh, thank you. Thank you. My time's up. This is for me and this is for everyone. As John said last night, there's gold all the way through, all the way through. So right after that next week after that occurred, an open temple, if you're holding meditation, usually look for a poem or something that you might want to share with the group. And so I've had this next to my, where I sit, and we use it during Sesshin, and I started opening it just to read through, but I opened it to exactly this spot. Trusting the mind. The way isn't hard to find, just avoid choosing. When preferences are gone, it's perfectly clear the slightest distinction parts heaven and earth. To find it right now, stop taking sides. Stop taking sides. So that was showing up everywhere in my life. And then last Sunday, during the long meditation, the koan was, a single hand doesn't reach out in vain. And that's how koans show up in my life. My teacher I'm working with now, Allison, she frequently works with me to stop taking sides, to not be for or against. Notice when I'm for and against. When I think that there's a perpetrator and I think there's a victim. Just noticing what happens inside for me. And mostly what I notice is I'm at war inside myself. And when I can spend time with that, as John was saying this morning, there's a lot of chaos and a lot that's happening outside of our temple, but inside there's peace. I have one last thing for you from Lenji. From the record of Lenji, followers of the way, as I look at it, we're no different from Shakyamuni. In all our various activities each day, is there anything we lack? The wonderful light of the six senses has never for a moment ceased to shine. If you could just look at it this way, then you'd be the kind of person who has nothing to do for the rest of your life. See that? I can see you shining. Feel that gold inside. If you don't have faith in yourself, then you'll be forever in a hurry trying to keep up with everything around you. You'll be twisted and turned, but whatever environment you're in, and you can never move freely. If you want to be no different from the ancestors and Buddhas, then never look for something outside yourself. A moment of pure light in your mind, that is the Dharmakaya, the essence body of the Buddha lodged in you. Never look for something outside of yourself.